The best of 3 here. Alright, so Temur Climb. This is a variation of the straight blue-green climb that you can find on my website. This build is basically that deck, but with 3 copies of Ravager Wurm in the main deck, because one of the issues I found lacking in blue-green is that you were kind of short on removal spells, but you also really didn't want more dedicated removal spells, because that makes it harder for you to just be aggressive. So Ravager Wurm is awesome, much like Incubation Incongruity, because it's a super flexible card. This is a card that acts as removal when you need it to be removal, but it's also able to apply pressure to your opponent when you're the aggressor in a specific matchup. Once we're splashing Ravager Wurm in the top, we gain access to Lava Coil out of the sideboard, so the matchups where we really want a lot of removal, we have access to a lot of it. Yeah, other than that, we're just like a blue-green deck with the Wildgrowth Walker package to be good against aggro. We've got Vivien Reid's Carnage Tyrants, and then Hydroid Krasis generate card advantage against control. And I'm a big fan of Spell Pierce this format, so there are a couple copies of those in my sideboard here as well. So let's dive into some matches. If I was going to a tournament this weekend, or looking to play Standard and doing my best to win, this deck or something close to it would be something I would be playing for sure, I think. I say something close to it because I would have tested it a little bit more. I don't have a tournament coming up, so I haven't been testing anything explicitly, but this is my favorite deck that I've enjoyed playing the most. It also feels very powerful. Did we already play Naya Angels? I believe that's towards the top of the queue, so I don't think so. I think this is fine. It wants a 2-drop, but I've got 2 draw steps plus an incubation to find one. Perfect. Hey, what's going on, Gauchos? Thanks for the 4 months and welcome back. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks back this way again. Keeping me around. Life is swell. Really couldn't ask for more. Maybe slightly better weather. I'm over the cold and the snow. Ready to move on from that aspect. Goats. All right. So what am I doing here? I think it's Rootbound Crag, Jadelight. Am I in for this? I think I'm bidding this. I think I'm looking for a land at this point, especially with like Wurm and Krasis in my hand. Why would I need to shock in right away? Like, why do I need to spend that health? I just like don't really have an upside to playing the blue land out right away, so like I don't think I want to play it. I have no idea what his Medium post from yesterday was, so I generally try not to comment on things that I'm not informed about. I think I'm gonna go ahead and double block here. I think this is a good trade for me. What's going on, John? Thanks for the 2 months. Welcome back. I appreciate you keeping me around. The weather everywhere is crazy. Climate change is scary. So next turn, I can Growth Chamber Guardian plus make it a 4/4. The National Enquirer tried to blackmail him, so he just straight published their threat on media. That's great. That's an excellent response to that. I think the Gates deck is very real. I would describe the Gates deck as a tiered deck. I'm gonna leave that on top there in case they have another creature that I need to punch through. Generally speaking, if there's a sideboard guide for something that I have on my website, it'll be linked there. Although I haven't linked 4-color gates yet. Add 4-color gates guide, link to that page. Yeah, Incongruity is very flexible in this matchup. I like it a lot. I think we're a dog from this position, but we're not 0%, so we're gonna keep slogging through. If they draw it all reasonably, I think we're pretty far behind. Like, we had to trade 2 for 1 for too many of their threats. Everything is boring, nothing's fun. If it beats me, I don't want to play against it. It's basically like the TLDR of the standard format. Like, there's so many different things, and like everybody hates all of them. Alright, Wildgrowth Walker is actually pretty good here, because it means that I can, like, get some health going to, like, stabilize against the Gate Colossus, but I think the string of cards that they're going to be having from this guild summon is just too much. This is definitely a matchup where Ravager Wurm is not good, so the red splash is actively bad. Like, in the straight blue, and that's something I like to think about when I'm, like, close on 2 builds of a deck, is that in the straight blue-green build, these Ravager Wurm slots are actually main deck Vivien Reids, and, like, if this had been a Vivien Reid to shoot this guild summit down, we'd probably be winning this match. Or this game, sorry. Yeah, generally speaking, you need to get under the gate stack. You can't just, like, sit here and let them draw cards. Yeah, I'll just move to the next one. Get some Vivien Reids in our deck, get some ways to interact with enchantments, get some negates in. This is a matchup where the red splash is not good, so I'm effectively just going to turn it into a blue-green deck. It's down to 22 creatures. That might be too few creatures. I don't think sleep is good enough here. I'm gonna try this. This might be going too low on creature count. So, the question about a 4-color deck is more of a but why? Like, we shouldn't be asking ourselves if we can, we should be asking ourselves if we should. Like, what productivity are you getting from playing 4 colors? Like, why is that something worth doing? Well, to be fair, if your opponent's playing defense, sleep means you go down a card to tap your opponent's creatures for 2 turns, which is different. Perfect. Getting some pressure into play and then holding up a counterspell is exactly how we win this matchup. Yeah, it's a 4-color deck that, like, needs to be 4 colors, right? And they get expansioned here and die. Yeah, getting expansion and dying. It's so brutal. It's so brutal that they get to, like, have their card advantage. Oh, they just brought in Negate against us. Really? Wow, that's rough. Put this into play tapped. Then we can start jamming Krasi here. If we can avoid them finding a card advantage engine, we could be in an okay spot. But if they, like, jam Guild Summon here, we're probably just buried. Deepbreaker Ram, not the end of the world. Need to literally go over the top of that one. The only spells that actually matter are non-creatures. Well, that's just not true. If the creatures didn't matter, you wouldn't have Gates Ablaze in your deck. Don't be silly. Don't be silly. If you're leaving Gates Ablaze in your deck, you're like, that's your acknowledgement that you do in fact care about the creatures. So stop. Just like full stop. Think about what we're saying. Alright, so my triple blocking this Ram and then untapping and playing a Giant Krasis, I think is the game plan here. Or the Ram's just gonna run me over. Remember that time I binged that Incongruity? Perfect Firm remembers. I'm gonna run the no blocks here. Go to 1. This gains me 3. Yeah, I think I'm just dead. I think I needed to chump block for at least 1 last turn, right? Because this only gains me 3. And then, so if I'd have chump blocked last turn, I'd be at 5. And then I could stack all of these in front of here. And then I'd go to 1 again. Yeah, I should have gained 1 last turn. How would sleep be reasonable here, punishing waterfalls? I actually think that that's a good note that sleep wasn't reasonable. So, like, sleep doesn't magically let you win the game, right? Like, I didn't have a bunch of power in play. I'm like, would I have killed them in 2 turns? Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Yeah, I could have tried to draw just a single card to hit the Incongruity. I think I still probably lose that game. Gatebreaker Ram is the GOAT. Paired up against the Mythic players, chat. What hour for Jund Elves? We started playing this deck about 5 minutes ago. It's probably 90 minutes to 2 hours before we get to Jund Elves. So hitting that there is actually kind of sweet for us because it means this has a counter on it. So now I can do this. I can go ahead and pump this up. And then next turn, Hadana's Climb can target the Merfolk Branchwalker, flip, and then I can play a Giant Krasis with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like Krasis for 5 next turn. And like, even if they kill this here, now they're killing that instead of killing the Krasis. So like, I still get to Krasis 4. For 4. It kind of sucks to not have it out of finality range, but it'll get out of finality range with the Climb next turn. And if my opponent plays a Vivien and shoots it, my Elves just finish it off on the back of the Climb, which is nice. I'm looking for some more gas here. Hopefully Incubation can help us with that. Perfect. Oh, you know what? I should leave a green source up here because I find like an island or a Sulfur Falls. I want to be able to. That is not what I'm looking for. Do I want to play around a Finality next turn? Potentially. I might target the Krasis here and try and flip this, see if they burn another removal spell. Burning another removal spell here makes me think that I shouldn't play around the thing next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and attack for 2. I think I'm going to go ahead and play Branchwalker and dig for a land here. Not in the market for that one. They have a Finality. I go to being pretty far behind here. I guess I had 3 cards and a climb to like their stuff. I can go either way here. Do you think Incubation Druid is a better mana dork than Llanowar Elves? No, I don't think so. I think Llanowar Elves is the best mana dork in the format. If you think your deck's in for mana dorks, you should probably be playing it. This all worked out okay. I think the ability to have a relevant play on turn 1 is very important in a lot of matchups. I think Climb's a card that's already good on its own with a lot of other cards that I'm playing, and I don't want to play cards that are like worse than Llanowar Elves to like make my good card be better. Driving in my worm, beep beep. Hope no one wrecks into me. I could have killed the Memorial to Folly there. The fact that Wurm doesn't die to Finality is great, by the way. Yeah, you can find Merfolk on my website and my YouTube channel. The Ravager fight animation is really, really good. It's honestly part of the reason to play it. How many points do tier 3 sub deck submissions get for the queue? 30. They're just dead to the tempo, making this Worm an 8/8. Alright, so this is the matchup where Sleep is great. It's the matchup where Lava Coil is also pretty good. I haven't thought about how I board this matchup in the red build. In the blue-green build, you don't board a ton. But my Viviens are in the main deck of that build, so I need those here as well. I think because I have Lava Coil coming in here, I actually want to trim some of my Incubation Incongruities. I think I also trim a couple of Spell Pierce. Hey, Brett M. Holt, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people who can ship those Bezo bucks to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending them my way. Yeah, I think Spell Pierce is a fine trim. I think Wildgrowth Walker is the last cut. Like, the health gain from that isn't super relevant. Something like this. No, I think Climb's very important for breaking board stalls. Hey, what's going on, Adaman? Thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed this month with that. Yeah, so like Wildgrowth Walker versus Growth Chamber Guardian. I guess this gets really big, but like this creates a lot of blockers and goes kind of wide. I think I'd rather have the wide than the tall. I think if I don't want 3 Climbs in this matchup, I don't want 3 Climbs in my deck. This is like the matchup where Climb is at some of its best, so I think if I don't want it here, I should cut the 3rd copy. See, it needs a blue source, but it's pretty good. I've watched all of your red, white aggro builds listed on your website. Why did you end up on Snubhorn over a card like Dauntless Bodyguard? Because I wanted to play around Cry of the Canarium. Your 1-drops are basically you picking and choosing what you want to play around. There's a lot of good white 1-drops, and certain ones are better in certain matchups than others. Is it crazy to cut elves? No, and if you're gonna cut elves, you definitely don't cut them on the draw. Why do people hate Llanowar Elves so much? Do you not understand how good it is to play two lands on the first turn? This card is absurd. Stop thinking about cutting Llanowar Elves. It's very good. Oh, y'all are crazy. So I'm gonna I'm gonna use the climb here before I play my Explorer creature, because if I explore a spell to the top of my deck, I don't want to shuffle it away. Yeah, Elves, someone said it in chat, Punishing, it's the most powerful tempo card in the format. It is a very, very powerful tempo play. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and play Sulfur Falls here, and then play Growth Chamber Guardian out. And then I'm going to go ahead and let Hadana's Climb target the new Growth Chamber Guardian, and then if they go to kill it in response, I will adapt it. So I go find a friend. So they're contempting this in response. I'm going to adapt it in response. So I go... Me. Thank you for the content. Payday means Magic Day. What's your favorite Judith shell so far? We actually broke into Diamond yesterday playing Black-Red aggro. It was really, really sweet build. It was playing Spawn of Mayhem as well. So that would probably be my pick for my favorite. Alright, well, they're shooting Climb, and then this is going away, probably.
Out of here.
Alright, well, sleep bodes well for us, potentially. I think I just go ahead and do this, and then I'm going to go ahead and shock in the breeding pool that they know about. Growth Chamber Guardian. I'm going to activate the Growth Chamber Guardian right away, because I don't want them to be able to kill it in response to deny me the search effect for my last Squadron Crab. If they have Finality, I still have 3 threats in my hand, so I think we're in a pretty good spot here. We've not played Mono White with Judith, but that's definitely on my to-do list. I think that shell sounds really good. Just mono 2 mana removal. I'll let this one hang out for now. So I'm going to do this, so that if they have Finality, they tap out for it next turn. Don't need a third Climb. Yeah, I agree. Mono White aggro splashing Judith seems really powerful. Priestess, sure. So I can do this, pop this. It doesn't have any friends left to go get. And then I can do this, pay 2. And then Hadana's Climb's going to go ahead and target this, which I can decline this. There's no more left. Now I can go ahead and turn this into a 6/4 and attack into their 5/5 here, which is nice. If they have another Finality here, I'm not in that much trouble because this is a 5/5 now, so it gets out of that. Yeah, I don't understand why people stopped playing Heroic Reinforcements either. Everyone just decided the blue cards were best, but I really feel like you could double splash. So like they have a 7/7, but I'm gonna have a 10/10. Oh, and theirs only hits for 3 this turn, so like that seems real good for me. We draw like any other threat here, we'll be in a good spot. So if they don't have a removal spell next turn, we get to go ahead and sleep and kill them. I'm gonna put this land into play tapped in case we draw Krasis. Getting this out of Finality range was big game. I think it's really obvious when you pass with Frilled Mystic up in this deck, and I was unimpressed with it when I tested it in the straight blue-green shell. I think Brontodon's really good because it's great against, yeah, sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, go to sleep, little Krasi. Do do do, do do do, do 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 do. This, are we representing a counterspell here? Representing a counterspell. Play another creature. Play another creature. Don't accuse my opponent of ghosting. It's just rude. They could have a removal spell here. Yeah, I think they just have a removal spell. That's fine. Look at game 3 on the plate. Big old Krasis. This game was a good example of like the first Krasis really snowballs hard, right? Like they found the first Krasis. Like this is maybe a reason to leave more Incongruities in my deck. Maybe I want like less Lava Coil in this matchup. It's possible I want less Lava Coil in this matchup. Because Incongruity, not that we saw a Lava Coil that game, but like this is a card that like helps us find our biggity bombs more consistently. Yeah, in the Krasis mirror, the first big Krasis finds another one, and they kind of just like chain and snowball down the line. The blue-green removal suite is very unique. This hand is excellent. Yeah, a little bit. Just like having a pseudo-efficient removal spell is good for our side of the table, though, too. It's not purely for Wildgrowth Walkers. I'm gonna bin that because it's a lot worse when they know it's coming. I really just want to dig for a land here. Yeah, we cleared our way into Diamond yesterday. I'm gonna go ahead and offer the trade here. I assume they're not gonna take it. Agreed. Ooh, piece of candy. Like, keep their board clean. Get some more power and toughness going here. This draws their attention to the Branchwalker, which means I can play Krasis for X's2 next turn, which is nice. I cut the Lava Coils from the main, and I replaced them with Deafening Clarions on the sideboard. Because I'd rather just have more sweeper effects. He took my elf. That's aggressive. That is hyper aggressive. I mean, am I that worried about Vivien at this point in the game? Is that something we're super concerned about? I could have in fact coiled the elf to prevent a 5-mana play. I don't know that I was concerned with a 5-mana play. Yeah, subscribers can submit. Is that lethal? That's lethal, right? Right? I make this 10. They're at 8. I exile this. Welcome to the jungle, baby. Welcome to the jungle, baby. That's why you don't cut Climb in this matchup. It's very good. Climb is very, very good against Sultai. Yeah, so Twitch Prime subs can submit new decks for $10. You can find out all the details on how my deck submission process works here on my website. You should hold the Climb until you can flip it right away, or is it always playing out? Again, that's just like one of those magic questions where the answer is it depends. It depends on what your other cards in your hand are. Are you still able to use your mana? What's your opponent doing? Do you have time to wait? Is it, if you do wait and you flip it off, how likely are you to win the game? There's a lot of situational clues that like make those things good or bad. Yeah, Krasis also tramples. He's got Flample. A lot of Flamplers in the current format. Seems very reasonable. We've not had a Wildgrowth Walker start. Hopefully they're playing basic mountains or some kind of aggro deck. Just like doop doop doop. The old combo. Yeah, Ravager, 3 Ravager Wurms in the main deck and then Lava Coil on the sideboard. Play a 1-mana creature. The Wildgrowth Walker starts are like pretty good against both Drakes and Mono Blue too, just because they let you be aggressive. These two are matchups where having access to Lava Coil is important, just because it's efficient removal. Incubation, Incongruity can be a little bit lackluster. Having access to Lava Coil against Tocatli on our guard decks is also pretty important because our deck has a lot of enter the battlefield effects. So being able to take Tocatli off the table is important as well. Is there a reason you have to wait until your mulligan until the opponent does? Yeah, because you get extra information. I didn't attack with the Wildgrowth Walker here because they likely have their Merfolk that taps a creature, so this way they don't get to hit me for an extra 2. So if I attack them for 1 here, they could likely just block it, and then they get 2 extra points of damage in. So by not attacking, I'm potentially missing 1 point of damage, but I'm also potentially not taking 2. And I think in this matchup, I'm more favored as the match goes long, so I'd prefer to be conservative with all my decisions. The second Jadelight was an excellent draw here, by the way, because it means if my opponent counterspells the first, I get to try again. Oh, you know what? I should wait to play the land in case this resolves. I don't think this is going to resolve, so it probably doesn't matter. Yeah, not surprised to see that. And now we'll attack, because they can't Trickster. What does Climb mean in terms of the Temur Climb deck? So Climb refers to the card Hadana's Climb in this deck specifically. So often, if a deck has a key card in it that's kind of built around or makes the deck extra powerful when it's in play, you will put part of that card's name in the deck name. I'm going to lead on this to see if we can bait a counterspell. And now, since they didn't use a counterspell on Growth Chamber Guardian, I'm just going to go ahead and shock this and then pass the turn, and then just activate the Growth Chamber Guardian. And now there is a chance that my opponent just like doesn't have a counterspell here, but even if they don't, I'm still getting to use my mana here, which is ideal. I am good at talking quickly while still articulating what I say. Enunciating is what I mean. Enunciating what I say. Do I just run back the same line again here? I think I just run back the same line again here. Yeah, like I'm attacking for 6 here, and then I'm attacking for 10 next turn, so that seems fine. Like, without them having, like, a temp vision in play, I'm, like, not under any pressure here, so I'm just, like, making their counter spells awkward while adding pressure to my board every turn. So, like, eventually they're gonna have to do something to interact with my board, and then they'll get to sneak a Jadelight Ranger in and gain a bunch of life and end the game on the spot. What's going on, Arcan? I feel like they have a Merfolk Trickster that they're holding on to, but that could just be reading too much. They catch Trickster in response to adapt. Would that prevent the Guardian? It would. It would take the text off the card. That is a good draw as well. All right, so I think I just start by attacking here. All right, that was a good game. I felt like that was a good solid teachable. Did we learn stuff? Did we learn stuff about how to sequence through counter spells? I hope we did. I felt like we taught some things there. All right, four Lava Coils are great. Do I just straight up cut the Ravager Wurms? I feel like I'm probably supposed to just straight up cut the Ravager Wurms, right? He's just really expensive. Hydroid Krasis is good just as like a medium baby blocker. And I think I trimmed one Incubation Druid. Words ending in is. So the plural form of Krasis is Krasis. Yeah, I mean, it's a joke in the community. If you listen to other people, Davis talking, like there's like 6 different ways to pronounce this that people are saying it. I think I want to cut an Incubation here. I think I want to leave 2 Spell Pierces in. I think I just want to stay low to the ground here. Like, obviously, if this resolves, this is really good. But, like, resolving your 4-mana spell is, your 6-mana spell is really hard in this matchup. I just call it Crass Daddy. Daddies. Settle the Wreckage isn't that popular, and this archetype tends to be good against Settle the Wreckage decks as is, just because you have a lot of different counter spells and, like, individually powerful threats, and you don't have to attack with everything at once if they're representing a Settle and you feel like you want to play around it. This hand's really good with a second land, and, like, even without a second land, it, like, still plays Magic, so I'm gonna keep it. Ding, ding, ding. Holy gosh, chat, they don't have Curious Obsession. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm glad I had these Magic cards to shuffle, because otherwise I really wouldn't know what to do with my hands. Just like, this is so strange. This is so strange. It's so strange. You got him. He's been thoroughly diddled. Hey, diddle diddle, the elf and the fiddle. What do we do if they don't have obsession? We just, everybody keep calm and play Magic. They don't have an obsession. Everybody stay calm. Nobody panic. Listen, Sir Goldmane, if there's one thing I would ask you to never do with my stuff, is don't make up numbers. Every 20th video is modern. That's factually incorrect. Every 8th to 10th video is modern. That's factually correct, but every 20th is not correct. I've been playing less modern because modern is less popular. I enjoy playing it less than standard. And people, because it's less popular, people have been submitting less decks for it. Now, I don't think it was worth shocking in to leave up Spell Pierce last turn. Woof. It is worth noting here that because I have this red splash, my mana has been a lot more painful, right? Like my mana, like all these lands, like imagine if these Stomping Grounds were just basic forests in the straight blue-green build, I would have way better mana this game, right? It also means I have to slog through Magic Online. That is very true. Magic Online's a lot less pleasant than Arena. I like people that like to tell me how my business works. I started playing less Modern because less people support it. It's not less people supporting it because I play less Modern. Come on now. Come on now. I know you want to push a narrative without any data, but don't tell me I don't know what I'm doing, please. So, I don't actually want to draw this card, but I think I want to hit it again so I can get 2 counters on here, so that way I can play this climb and flip it over. Yeah, all subscribers get access to the Discord. You can link your accounts up and pop in here. Thanks, Zach Fan. I appreciate you being here. Hope you're having a good Friday wherever you're at. Having a good start to your weekend. That's aggressive. So I'm taking 4 here down to 5. And then Winged Temple gives me some flying blockers, which is nice. So I get to play this. I get to put this into play tapped. And then I'm going to go ahead and attack for 7 here. Hey, Gabor, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. There's a lot of great people who can chip those Bezo bucks to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending them my way. We won this ulti match. We drew a removal spell for their Krasis and then attacked for lethal in the air. Is this thing ready to pop? Pippity pop, the fun don't stop. It is in fact ready to pop. That's lethal, right? That's exactly lethal. It is exactly lethal. We actually have 1 over lethal. So I get to do this. So I'm gonna target that. In response to the trigger, I'm gonna float mana. This flips over. Keep the new one. Now the Winged Temple is gonna double this up. They shouldn't have attacked with the Siren Storm Tamer. Somebody call the police. There's been a robbery. Oh, sweet. Good to clean the lights. I love this deck. It's like mid-rangey, but it has these really aggressive draws, and climb just lets you steal wins in places that you feel like you have no business winning. You're just like, well, I'm super far behind here. How do we win? Oops, drew a climb, killed you. I'm still not 100% convinced that this Temur build with Wurm and Lava Coil are better than the straight mono blue build of this deck that you can find on my website, but definitely the core of this deck is great. There's like what the details are surrounding the core are still a little muddled. I haven't spent enough time working on them. Yeah, like there's so like we've been talking about flying creatures a lot, right? Like flying is very good in this format. This hand needs a blue source, but if it finds it, it's very good. And even if we don't find a blue source, but just find a 3rd land, Jadelight Ranger will likely help us find the blue source. Ding, ding, ding. Never didn't have it. Any advice for a novice player without much collection to deal with Nexus, Teferi, and MTG Online events? So, the Nexus Teferi deck, and one of the reasons why it's so frustrating to deal with, is that if you have a small collection, you're probably playing best of one, right? The Nexus and the Teferi decks are very good in best of one, because a lot of the cards that are good against Nexus and Teferi decks are cards that are sideboard cards. In general, the mono blue deck that we actually just played against, the previous opponent's deck, is good against those decks. So if you wanted to specifically target beating those decks, I would recommend trying the mono blue deck. It's fairly budgeted, it doesn't play a lot of mythics, it's only got a few rares in it. What on God's green earth is that? Gyre Engineer. Huh. Huh. You know, we've played Bant, and I just have not been impressed with the white cards. Am I supposed to kill that? I feel like I'm supposed to kill that. They whispered you complaining about the timeout. Well, I addressed their timeout directly. So if they weren't listening to what I said, then they extra deserved the timeout. I mean, is Krasis even that scary on this board, though? I think I'm just gonna go 2-drop here. Would I be better off doing best of one to build my collection? No, if you have some stuff for best of three is great. Cards that are good in best of three include, against the Nexus deck, include things like what are some of my favorites for beating up the Nexus deck in best of three? Duress, Tithe Taker, Counter Spells, Cinder Vines. Alright, so I'm just gonna like smack them for 10 this turn, right? Unmoored Ego is pretty mediocre. Are they just dead here? I don't think so, right? I can put them to 1. Putting them to 1 like makes them like effectively dead, right? I mean, our opponent's diamond. Their life's like a diamond. Bum 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 bum. And my opponent is also diamond ranked. A Neo-sponsored timeout. I got you, JoJo. That one. Rawr. I know they were dead on board before I ate their thing, but I didn't want to deny you all the Ravager Wurm animation, okay? The Ravager Wurm animation is wonderful. Quest to play 20 green or blue creatures. That could possibly be it. You're not wrong. Do I want a bunch of Lava Coils in my deck if they're gonna have mana creatures? I've got everyone's entertainment in mind when we make decisions on this stream, okay? We're an entertainment-focused stream. What is the donation amount to get you to play a singleton deck specifically so we can see animations we haven't seen it? I don't know about that. That probably wouldn't make for very good television. I think this is fine. I don't think I want Vivien in this matchup. Yeah, they could be like, maybe they're at the diamond rank floor and they're just like completing their quest and playing colors of cards. I can see that. The old rank floor quest completion. This hand's real mediocre, right? Just like double Krasis, Wildgrowth Walker without any explore creatures. So, the Lava Coil, that's a good question. So the Lava Coil's in my sideboard. are there for the matchups where I want to explicitly be more interactive and more controlling. And when I'm bringing in a card to act in a more controlling role, I want that card to be more flexible. And Lava Coil kills a wider range of creatures while also exiling really important things like, say, opposing phoenixes or cards that I want my opponent to pick back up. And the Jund Elf list for replacing some green, black lands, and forest for unclaimed territories help anything out? I don't know, damn. I'm not super familiar with the list offhand. It's a viewer submitted list, so we'll be taking a look at it before we load it up for sure. What's the counter to climb? You can destroy the climb. You can kill the creatures they're trying to climb onto. You can counter the climb. You can discard it out of their hand. We can stay right there. I think I plan to run late today, but then probably take this weekend off again. There's a standard open this weekend, so I'm not sure that I want to stream against that. I probably just want to watch it. You could Ravager Wurm the land. Yep. That's rude. Tradesies. Fair. Stay right there. How it encourages slow play. I think it's so I assume if you're presenting the question in that way, you've never played competitive tournament Magic. And in competitive tournament Magic, the way slow play is defined is very different than the way in which you're using the vernacular here. So in competitive tournament Magic, slow play is defined as you're not taking game actions quickly enough. So I would say that Nexus of Fate Nexus of Fate wins the game slowly, but doesn't constitute slow play because your opponent is pretty constantly taking game actions. In Arena, the only thing that would be close to what constitutes slow play in paper would be if your opponent is roping you intentionally. My God, Green Earth does this at the beginning of your combat. You may pay blue-green. If you put a 1/1 counter on another target creature you control, it gains flying until end turn. That's cute. I have actually read this card before. This was in a Gatherer search that I did for 1/1 counters at one point. Alright, well, we don't have more spells, but they're dead on board, so, you know, maybe. And they have a Krasis of their own, it's only going to be a 4/4. Yay, they're dead. What is roping? Roping refers to when your opponent slow plays while they're timing, while they are timing out. They're like using the time down ticker every single turn. Look at that! I told you I like this deck. We're up to Diamond 2. Is this it? Is this what? Could this be the deck that like drags us kicking and screaming into Mythic? Maybe. Yeah, roping stems from the actual timer in Hearthstone being like an actual rope visual. Yeah, different jargon like that gets reused from game to game, right? Like people are talking about slow play means different things in different areas. That's why I thought it was important to highlight like what it means in the context of like at least competitive Magic. Perfect. So, the reason why I really like the red splash in here is because, one, I think Incubation Incongruity is an incredibly powerful card to have access to. So, the fact that Ravager Wurm is a removal spell that we can also get with Incubation, I think is a big deal. How close would you have to be to top 8 to consider pushing it, just despite WotC? Really close. Like, nobody is going to get into the top 8 by accident. The people who end up in the top 8 of this tournament are going to be people that ground a miserable amount of their time. In fact, the way that this thing is structured to put people into the top 8 like that is going to create a lot of really unhealthy lifestyle choices for people, and I hope that no one hurts themselves trying to get into the tournament through lack of sleep or not eating because they're not paying attention or whatever it might be. I think it's honestly kind of irresponsible on Wizards of the Coast part to like induce people or encourage people to grind it the way they're gonna have to grind to get those top 8 slots. Hashtag not sponsored. So this actually flips over to here. I'm not salty about not being sponsored. I understand. I said not sponsored there is a jab because saying things like I just said there about how it's going to create unhealthy behavior and I think it's irresponsible of them, stuff like that is explicitly why they don't want to work with me, because I'm willing to say things like that. Some people think things like that shouldn't be said. A better alternative would be taking the top 128 or 256 Mythic players and then having them play a tournament and then queuing the top 8 of that Swiss tournament for the event. That would be a much healthier approach to it, in my opinion. That being said, I would be willing to bet non-zero amount of dollars that the reason why they didn't do that is because Arena is not ready to support tournaments of that nature. Yeah, Incongruity exiles the Phoenix. No, I don't think anything in this format should be banned. What am I doing here? I think it's just activate the Growth Chamber Guardian, Incongruity the Phoenix. And I want to do this now so they can't like shock it in response or lightning strike it in response. I think I'm just going to go ahead and pass here. And then next turn I can go Merfolk Branchwalker, trigger Wildgrowth Walker, activate Winged Temple, hit them for 10. How long is the qualifying process? The qualifying process is through the end of the month, so there's 3 more weeks. I honestly think this is one of the best, in my subjective opinion, this is the best standard format I've ever played, and it's the best format of Magic I've ever played. Yeah, I agree. I think there's probably going to be a lot of account sharing going on for people who are trying to do it but not be unhealthy. So they're dead in 2 turns if they can't find a... And this is, again, like, this just highlights the power of climb and flying creatures in this format, right? Just, like, being able to just literally go over the top of what the opponent's doing, especially with the big attack boost, is huge. Very, very huge. Is it shocking to you that Standard has remained this good with the addition of Ravnica? Not really. So generally speaking, the best Standard formats that Magic tend to have both good mana and big card pools. I was actually more surprised that the last Standard was as good as it was with as small as the card pool was. So subjective opinion is redundant, but I like to put subjective opinion in there when I give an opinion, because if I don't say subjective opinion, there are people that always chime in with like, that's just your opinion, Jeff. It's like, yeah, it's subjective. That's my opinion. Those things are the same. Opinions by definition are subjective. All right, they found a Phoenix, so they're not dead. All of my opinions are completely objective, right? This attack leaves them dead on board. Not quite. It almost leaves them dead on board. So, if I attack with everything here, they have to block these 3, otherwise they die. It does not give trample. So I think I attack with everything here. Because they don't... this gives them a chance to mess up and lose the game. And this is going to eat this, and it'll leave me with these. And they'll have this, this, and this. Maybe this is loose. If they don't block these 3, they lose. Yeah, being able to activate post blockers is great, I agree. So I assume we'll see them line up here, here, or, sorry. Okay, so those blocks kill them. Thank you. I appreciate you punting on board lethal. Thanks. Dunk, 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 dunk. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, the audio chat. All right, we're gonna reload mid sideboard here real quick, so it only takes like 30 seconds. These people are great. Buy their stuff. These people are also great. Buy their stuff. Back to Magic Arena. How do you feel about Commander as a format? It's a format that a lot of people enjoy, so it seems like a fine thing. Doesn't tickle my fancy though. This seems like a Lava Coil / Sleep matchup. This does not seem like a Spell Pierce matchup. It's definitely a Wildgrowth Walker matchup. What am I cutting here? I need 4 cuts. Maybe some of these Incubation Incongruities are not worthwhile. Is this actually a Sleep matchup? Maybe it's not. Maybe Ravager Wurm's a touch slow. Maybe Wurm's the cut, actually. It feels like a Sleep matchup, I agree. Let's try this. Let's try. Usually, when I board down to under 25 creatures, I like cutting an Incubation, just because the Incubation half is worse with less creatures in my deck. In Standard or Magic in general? In Standard, I'd probably say Bant Flash. That deck's a lot of fun, but it's definitely a little bit underpowered. Rude. Rude. Mana base is rude. I only do extra weird formats like Pauper Chalky for extra large donations. So usually I look for $100 to play formats that I don't normally play, just because I don't play them because they're not very popular. The videos don't do very well. Viewer counts are low and the numbers don't do well. Of course, Coder. Have a good Friday. Hope you have a good start to your weekend. What are the chances the standard format continues to be great in the future? I assume this current standard format's going to stay good at least until things rotate. Would be my guess. I'd be pretty surprised if things weren't good through rotation. And once things rotate, I bet that we'll probably get a new non-rotating format. So like that probably is very similar to the standard format. I think Climb and Rhythm the same deck as too clunky. I do. We've tried that in the past and it wasn't very good. Yeah, I bought him the Growth Chamber Guardian because I was looking for a land. It's a good question.
I've lost so much already.
Please kill my Climb. Yeah. Yeah. They never expect the backup Climb, chat. Backup Climb gets them every time. This makes Llanowar Elves a 4/4, flips the Climb, and then, like, they lose Vivien or they lose their 3/3. Sign me up. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. We know there's going to be a different format. They've announced that. So, they need to give people something to do with their cards once they rotate out of Standard on Arena. So, we're going to be getting a new non-rotating format on Magic Arena. No, I don't think so, Chris. I think against Control, I'd much rather have things like Vivien or things that generate card advantage, individually powerful cards, as opposed to cards that need other cards to make them good. So their Vivien can kill this Krasis, so I'm gonna need to draw into some gas here for this to pull out. But if they trade Vivien for Krasis, that's kind of a win for me, I guess. Assuming I can find some more gas. Thanks. The Electro end deck we played this morning was really kind of sad, Shepard. After playing that deck some more, I think the first time we played it was mostly a fluke. It's actually not very good. That's not on the weekly schedule. We're pretty dead here. Need to draw a couple of spells in those last 3 cards. It's my favorite standard deck so far. I actually really like this one. These blue-green climb decks or blue-green base aggressive decks are some of my favorite in the format. I'm not convinced these sleeps are good. I think I want these worms. I think I want these worms. I prefer the climb decks. I prefer the style of gameplay that this deck generates. I like these creature decks that are kind of aggressive as well. Negate for Vivien's very narrow. I'd much rather just like have evasive creatures or hasty creatures that can pressure her. So like if I'm worried about Vivien, bringing in something like Wurm makes more sense than bringing in a Negate for a card that like only tags very few of their cards. Generally speaking, you only want to bring in cards like Negate in matchups that are very spell heavy. You're no longer on board with the Golgari Splash Grixis deck? No, I think that's objectively the best deck in the format, Endo Crisis. I just prefer the playstyle of this deck to that one. This deck is more aggressive, whereas those decks tend to be a little bit more grindy. And I prefer to actually just, like, be aggressive and end the game. Oh, my God. Oh, that's a huge mistake. Like, this forest does not put this into play untapped. Yikes. Yikes. I've not played Nexus of Gates. I don't understand what the appeal of it is. Everybody keeps saying that, everybody keeps asking me what my opinion on the deck is, and nobody can tell me why it's good. So I don't understand. I don't understand what the appeal is. None of the Nexus of Fate decks in this format have felt impressive to me. The Sultai Nexus of Fate deck we've played a little bit has felt okay, but I have yet to play a Nexus of Fate deck and walk away from it and go, that deck was broken. I need to work on breaking this deck. It hasn't really shown up in Modern. One person played it in a Magic Online League and, like, did okay with it. No, this deck is just my preferred playstyle for this format. Alright, so now I'm just gonna, like, smash them here, right? So if I put this into play untapped, I can pay 3, go get a friend, take action. And then the Climb's gonna go ahead and put a counter on here and flip over. Go get a friend. And then I'm gonna attack with both of these and put them down to 4. Because if they block either of these, I'll pump the one they block and eat their dragon. And if they don't block, I'll make this a 10-10 and put them to whatever. Gobble gobble. I love this deck. I love playing aggressive decks with interaction. So like this is an aggressive deck that like plays some removal. It has some card advantage in the form of Krasis and Growth Chamber Guardian. Like, all right, I'm gonna run to the restroom really quick. I think we're gonna keep playing this deck until I lose. I like this one. Ugh. I see you, Nivek. Don't you tell people to time themselves out. Don't you encourage the chat to do bad. You encourage the chat to do bad. What deck does Biogenic Ooze fit in? I haven't been impressed with Biogenic Ooze. So we've played a few different Biogenic Ooze decks on stream, and you can find a bunch of them on my website, my YouTube channel. But the TLDR in my experience is that Biogenic Ooze tends to be worse than both Krasis and Vivien Reid in Standard, which means it's competing with those two cards for top-end slots, and like, you'd rather have Vivien and Krasis. And then once you have Vivien and Krasis, you don't have room for another dirtily 5-drop, basically. So, Woodland Cemetery. Do I think I want to... So do I want to hold this as an Incongruity, or do I want to jam it and try and find a creature here? I think I want to hold on to it against possibly Black-Green or Sultai. The timeout thing is, you probably noticed a big chunk of rules when you came into my stream chat. And unlike a lot of other streams, we time out messages that tend to not be helpful in addition to ones that are just offensive. So a lot of people ignore the chat rules, and then when they get timed out for breaking them with an inoffensive message that's just like clutter or lazy, they then come back and throw a fit that they got timed out. So the stream regulars ask for complimentary timeouts to make fun of the people that think getting timed out is a big deal. And for those of you that have never been timed out in a Twitch channel before, all getting timed out does is it just makes it so you can't type in chat for 10 minutes. You can still watch the stream. You can still read the chat. Jund-Elves will be the next deck that we play. I think I'm going to play this one until I lose, because if we stay on a good win streak, we could probably clear into Mythic with this, which would be sweet. Alright, that makes me glad that I held the Incongruity here. A OG clever name. Thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Hope you're having a good Friday wherever you're at. Thanks for supporting my content here. I don't know. I really like the blue-green deck in general, like the blue-green climb shell, but I honestly don't know if having the Ravager Wurm splash is worthwhile or not. Alright, so do I want to attack for 4 here? I feel like I don't want to attack here, because I think there's a chance they play a thing next turn that's going to make me want this back. Like if they play like a Jadelight Ranger, I want to be able to block their stuff. So I'm definitely playing a Llanowar Elves here. Do I play another Llanowar Elves out and then set up for a big Krasis next turn? I think I do. And then the question becomes, do I want to save an Incongruity for Wildgrowth Walker? Or do I kind of just want to go toe-to-toe with them? I think I want to just go toe-to-toe with them. And I'm going to go ahead and Incubation looking for a Wildgrowth Walker of my own. Another Jadelight, sure. So I'm expecting a Jadelight Ranger here. Our opponent had a very slow start because of the first 4 lands all came into play tapped. One of the downsides of playing a 3-color deck sometimes. Wow, nothing, huh? That's wild. I guess I'm going to go to combat and target this again here. I'm expecting a Vraska's Contempt now since they didn't do anything. Sure. It's not a big deal. Let's do this for X's 4. Hopefully hit a land drop. So in the straight blue-green build of this deck, I do play Zagana. However, I think Ravager really solves a problem this archetype has, which is 1, not having enough purely aggressive threats, and 2, it's very good at helping us have more removal without having to play dedicated removal spells. Alright, so I get to flip Climb over here, which is nice. Land for the turn is awesome, because now Climb flips on Krasis. And then I'm not going to attack for 5 here. So do I... So I have 6, 7, 8, 9. So I can do X is 7, but then I'll have to discard cards to hand size, right? I've not played a land yet this turn, though. I'm going to Incubation, digging for Wildgrowth Walker still. Ravager Wurm. Okay, is that good? I think that's good, actually. That sounds good. That one. Gobble it up. Get some cards out of my hands here. And this is going to be a game where we, like, go toe-to-toe a little bit, generate some card advantage since they're behind. I really love these decks that can like play different roles depending on like where you need to be in the matchup. If they're gonna shoot this down, my Climb lets me jump up over and kill this Vivien Reid next turn, which is nice. It could have destroyed Memorial. Huh. I forget that we could kill lands. That's probably a fun suggestion. I think you're right that killing Memorial would have been sweet. Yeah, protects the Krasis from the Vivien while they're stumbling. Alright, so now we're going to Wing Temple, the Growth Chamber Guardian, jump this up over and have this kill Vivien.
Defeat is a new beginning.
I didn't attack with the 5/5 the previous turn because the 5 points of damage probably don't matter in the long run because their health total is so high. And I didn't want to leave myself exposed to, like, the Chupacabra. Like, letting them get in a good attack. I'm out of Growth Chamber Guardians, right? Almost. Yeah, I'm out of... I'm just gonna go ahead and trade here. Hey, what's going on, Maddie? You're off at noon. What are you doing? You have plans today? You just like cast the giant Krasis? Just gonna X the 6-less Krasis. I think this deck's very reasonable against mono red. You what's the word I'm searching for? You have the Explore package, and you have Incubation Incongruity to help you find the Explore package, which I think makes your mono red matchup very reasonable. No, I don't think you want to cut the Explore package. I think this deck is good against control because it has threats with counter spells, and it's good against aggro because of the Explore package. You leaving for MK at 2? Yeah, you should bring me lunch. If you want to stop by for an hour, I would love you if you brought me food. Do I just try and kill them? I should just try and lethal them, right? Well, thank you for doing that before I went all in. I appreciate you. Driving in my worm, beep beep. Anything that's convenient for you, Matthew. Whatever you're by. I don't know which side of town you're on at the moment. This is the downside to not killing the Wildgrowth Walker. So I can't kill them this turn, but I can come real close. We have liftoff. I repeat, we have liftoff. No, I could only deal, I could deal 10, 11, I could only deal 22 that turn with the second climb. Second climb dealt 22, they were at 30 something. I'm gonna message you my Chipotle order, Matthew. One moment, chat. You want to hear my order? All right, so I think we just try and hit them for lethal this turn. They should be 22, unless they have a removal spell. If they ripped a piece of removal here, they paused there, so it feels like they could have removal. I guess I could be conservative and split these up. I could be conservative and split this up. Yeah, let's just try and kill him. Sure, you got him. We're still pretty far ahead, right? Is he to not get finality'd at this point? Oh, it wouldn't have flipped climb anyways. You're super right. It only has one counter on it. Yeah. And if I wasn't flipping the other climb, I wasn't killing them that turn anyways, so it didn't really matter. Yeah, I can't spell Pierce of Finality anymore. Yeah, this is definitely why sleep comes into this matchup. That is not how Spell Pierce works, as much as we would like it to. I'm gonna just lift off Jadelight here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pump this up out of finality range. Like, I feel like we're ahead, and the question I just want to ask myself is, like, how do I lose this game from this spot? And I think the answer to the how do I lose this game spot all involve them having a finality. Maybe I'm supposed to double that up there. I don't know. The upside to not doubling it up is that I can use this other Hadana's Climb to save one of my Jadelight Rangers from finality next turn if they have it. Hey, thanks, Shukashu. Hey, appreciate that. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. So, like, now if they finality me here, I get to keep Growth Chamber Guardian, and now I get to use this. Yeah, they have 2 for Spell Pierce. I get to use this to save my Jadelight Ranger. So I keep 2 of my creatures here now. another one on top. Gross. All right. And now I explicitly don't want this climb to flip over, so I'm not putting counters on things that would cause it to flip. Yeah, that's true. If they finality again here, I can pierce it. If they don't have a land in their hand as their last card. Not surprised to see Find happen here. And we might get ground out at this point if I don't find a Krasis. We only had one Krasis in the exile one. We had 2 Krasis in half our deck. That's about average. Are removal spells lethal for us at this point? I think removal spells are lethal, right? What on God's green earth? Why do people keep attacking into onboard lethal? How many people are gonna attack and leave themselves dead on board today while we play? This is 7, 12, 15. Do they just like not understand how? Does nobody understand how double climb works? Does no one understand? I could have defensive climbed to eat one of their creatures too, and I just didn't because I'm just floored that nobody understands how dead they are on board. Hit you for exactly 18. Beep beep. Yeah, sorry, I could have done a couple of things there, but I was just so confused that they attacked and left themselves dead on board that I needed to process. And it's just like it didn't matter because they left themselves dead on board. Yeah, math is for blockers, I guess. That is one of our mottos around here, right? I'm not, Jesse, I wasn't rude to my opponent. I didn't call my opponent any names. I simply said I'm confused because they made a play that left themselves dead on board. I said the play was bad. I explained why the play was bad. Smart players make bad plays all the time. If you think what I just did there was negative, it wasn't. That's literally the definition of providing constructive, specific feedback. If people think that's abrasive, then I don't want to interact with those people. I talked about that's how you help people learn. If my opponent comes back here and I explained how they were, I mean, they saw why they were dead on board. They know it, right? Because like I did it. I was explaining that I was confused by their play and that's why I was missing lines. Like, I think it's very, very unjust to me to try and accuse me that that's me being mean. I'm not making fun of them. I just said I was confused because if they counted, they left themselves dead on board. I really hate the culture that we live in. If you point out anybody's done anything wrong, even if you don't say anything negative about the person, people take it personally. Like, people make mistakes. I make mistakes constantly on stream. Correct. Yes, there shouldn't be anything considered negative about. I didn't call my opponent names. Like, if I had started name calling my opponent and calling them dumb or stupid or all these other things, like, that would be negative and rude. But saying, hey, they left themselves dead on board, that this was a bad play because it left them dead on board, that's just honest. That's just being straightforward. Yeah, criticism is not a personal attack. Do they keep 7? I really wish I had a game log so I could go back and check and see if they kept 7. I really hate the implied meaning of the English language. Every time someone tells me they don't like what I said, they go, well, it's not actually what you said, it's that you implied something that you didn't say. It's like, well, I picked my words, and I said the things I said. I agree, Coldzers. I think there's a lot of people that are looking for reasons to make me into the bad guy. I did not see AOC's video for today. Someone linked it and it's queued up in my browser tab. I'll have to look at it later. I think I just played this. I really want to flip the climb this turn, and if this finds a non-creature spell, I get to flip the climb. Hoping for a non-creature spell. Double land. Got it. That's fine. I still have 6 lands for next turn, right? I mean, they need a cast down to keep the Hadana's climb in check. And there's a good chance they have another Explorer creature here. Like, if they have another Explorer creature, they get another chance to, like, hit my thing, right? I think I just take this hit. Especially with the Wurm in my hand. So I'm going to go ahead and enter combat. And I assume that they're going to kill my Merfolk Branchwalker in response to climb targeting it. This will give me the opportunity to play the Wurm post-combat with a 1/1 counter to eat the Wildgrowth Walker, which probably ends the game on the spot. We're actually not playing Cindervines, because we just have a lot of counter spells and other ways to destroy enchantments. The Ravager Wurm's been really good, and I don't think the red in the mana base has cost me that much. Like, the red in the mana base feels pretty reasonable most of the time. How do we feel about Wurm fight their Llanowar Elves attack? I think I like that. Just like kick them while they're down. So, like, here's the thing, though, Jack. Like, how much time do I have to spend on everything? Like, a lot of people shortcut beats. This attack was actually bad because it left me dead to a removal spell. Yeah, I'm talking to chat and reading chat. Like, this is, like, there's only so much time to do things, right? So if I take an extra 45 seconds on everything that I say to, like, try and appeal to people and, like, remove any possible smaller inside meaning that could possibly have behind it, like, at what point am I not able to actually make content because I'm adding so many extra things that I say, right? Like, a big part of why people regularly tell me they enjoy my content is because of how much I'm able to articulate and relay what I'm doing. And, like, if I stop and change everything that I do to, like, make sure it's, like, not coming off at the least bit offensive by adding a bunch of extra words, like, I lose content in that, right? I back down when I'm wrong, Commander Sin. I say that I'm wrong all the time. Fairly regularly. I'm like, yeah, I messed up and that was wrong. It's just when I'm pretty confident I'm not wrong and nobody's willing to explain to me why it was, I'm like, well, why should I say I was wrong if I wasn't? All right, they're dead. And this is why I'm being done. I'm done using Twitter, because Twitter's even a shorter media than like what this is here, with me trying to communicate quickly, read chat, talk about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And then there's lots of implied meanings from tweets for people to read subcontext that's not there and take it to mean that I'm being mean or rude. If you're interested in getting your deck list tested on stream, you can submit it using the Google form on my website here. But does just being short make me an asshole? Is that true? Like if I'm short, I'm automatically rude? Yeah, I like Wurm a lot. Wurm is very powerful. I think it's worth the splash, and I think the Lava Coils are worth it, specifically in the Tecatli Honor Guard matchups. Lava Coils are very important. Kurt. I think Kurt is a good word. I am definitely Kurt. Kurt and short. I can't not be short here, right? Like, I find people under 7 feet very offensive. Well, double Walker into double Jadelight should be good in most aggressive matchups, and then the Wildgrowth Walkers, if they're playing like a tokens deck, will be big enough that they're going to get to punch through here. I think another part of it is that I'm just loud. Anybody that like has confidence in their voice, or like I'm literally projecting my voice while I stream, right? So people just assume I'm being mean because I'm loud a lot of the time is part of it too.
Maybe we should just talk like this all the time. I bet a lot less people would think I'm rude if all I did was this. Yeah, this is probably the solution. People would like me a lot better if this was what we did. Do you think my opponent's playing a Nexus deck? I almost hope they're playing a Nexus deck. My Wildgrowth Walkers are going to attack next turn.
I genuinely think that people would think better or differently of me if I said everything I said in that voice instead of having like confidence in my voice. Not looking for a third one. If you think that voice is funny and you want to see more of that, I had someone pay me to do an entire league in that voice, and it's up on my YouTube channel. So, I agree with you that in general, I'm not a fan of the society is too sensitive line, because a lot of the times people try to use the line of society is too sensitive to write off hateful language that's being derogatory or negative towards certain groups of people for things that are outside of their control. However, in this instance, people are quite literally being upset and being sensitive about the fact that I'm just like being short with what I say and being loud while I say it. How are you able to talk loudly for 10 hours, though? I get exhausted doing it for 3 hours. So I am not using my vocal cords to project my voice. I'm using my diaphragm. Which is how I'm able to maintain that for a long part of time. So, they're probably a Settle the Wreckage deck, right? I'm only going to attack with 2 of these. I'm not attacking for lethal even if I attack with everything here, and this still gives me lethal next turn, so I might as well do this. That being said, they have Wilderness Reclamation here, so we might not get a next turn. Alright, so Deader Than a Doornail. I guess they don't have card advantage out yet. They need like a Teferi or something still here, or a Search for Azcanta. Yeah, I've definitely taught high school for a semester. So that being able to talk for prolonged periods of time is something that comes from that too. Need to have a big voice to get over 40, 16-year-olds. So the 6 lands here means they get to play around this Spell Pierce. We're probably dead here. They have double Chemist's Insights. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and move along. Just like where the probability % chance that we've lost this game isn't worth the amount of time I'm gonna spend waiting to see it play out. Wildgrowth Walker's an easy cut. I think Ravager Wurm comes out too. I talk loud enough to hear my voice echo off the back wall. Yep. Hey, Rage Harder with the brand new tier 3 sub. What an appropriate username for our current topic. Thank you for that absurd amount of support. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Remember, my tier 3 subs get to submit a deck every month to the queue, so feel free to submit one of those 3 using the form on my website. Yeah, Worm kills Flipped Azcanta, but I think if we're getting to that point, I'm probably dead. No, I agree with you in general, Sergeant Commander Sin. I think in general, writing off things as people being too sensitive is used to substitute, hey, let me be hateful, or hey, let me say this thing that, like, I know is wrong, or lots of people think is wrong, because, well, it's hateful. You said something a while back that if you watch a stream more than Netflix, then subscribe, and I watch entirely too much. Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And if you don't have anything specific that you would like to add to the queue, you can also just look at the queue there, and tier 3 subs get a big bump every month if you prefer that instead. Hey, Tom, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. I appreciate that. Yeah, right, just a box. That is quite literally what some people come across as. Basic planes means they can't growth spiral this turn, so that's good. Is hand too slow against Nexus? So our deck isn't a mono red aggro deck. Like a 2-drop and a counter spell, I think is perfectly keepable. Some of their things is messed up in the changeover, Tom. You're gonna spell pierce the crap out of Wilderness Reclamation this turn. Nope. All right. When do you play submitted deck? Basically, 100% of this stream is me playing viewer submitted deck lists. Occasionally, like this deck list, someone will submit something and say, hey, Jeff, play your preferred version of a deck, and then I'm playing my preferred version of the deck. Ooh, Revitalize is a reason to play Growth Chamber Guardian here, because now my opponent is not dead on board. And if I would have played Growth Chamber Guardian, they'd be dead on board. Well, Elite, if you would have just reposted your question, I probably would have seen it this time, because I see your comment mentioning not being able to get your question answered. Oh, they didn't have a land. They played Growth Spiral and didn't put a land into play. That's really good for us. I think I'm supposed to play around Revitalize because I saw it in the first game. What change magic? How, that's so vague and non-specific. What do you mean? What do you mean by change? Hey, Hobbs, thanks for Twitch Prime support. Hope you're having a good one. If they don't have a 6th land, Spell Pierce will be good enough. Alright, sweet. This card's great. Game the 3rd. Game the 3rd. Turn 2, Stormcrow. Thanks for checking in for the 5th month. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Am I supposed to have some Ravager Wurms in my deck? I'm probably supposed to have some Worms in my deck. I'm going to trade 2 of these for 2 Worms, just because they're a haste threat. I have no idea what you're referring to, Elite. Maybe you caught something out of context. Man, the upside with this hand is really high. I think I'm going to keep this. Like, double Krasis kind of sucks, but, like, Forest, Negate, Llanowar Elves, Growth Chamber, Jadelight is, like, really good. I'll be right back, Matthew is here. Gosh, the internet is wild. Hey, we hit the land. Yay, professionalism. See, chat, I take back most of the bad things I've said about you. I left you in charge and you drew the 2nd land. God bless. And that land's not a blue land. Can I get one of your... I'm so good at this. I'm so good at this. One of your finest Super Friends decks up next. Yeah, any... Larynx, do you mind if I try the... Do you mind if I try the Gate Super Friend list that posted a 5-0 on Moto?
Excuse me?
Twin to win. Thank you very much for the Prime support.
Gate Super Friend?
Yeah, Gate Super Friends. Yep. Thank you very much for the absurd biddies, by the way. You rock. This hand is very good. So, like, now this gets to hit here and flip. And I get to do this, and I can hold the Negate up this turn.
Didn't you keep only Forest in his hand?
I did keep only Forest. Well, sir, this land wasn't a land.
Yeah.
This was a spell.
Sure.
Hey, Judah Kinnett, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Welcome. I think I just cracked them to 10 and then play this for X's 4. You guys coming back tomorrow or Sunday? Really? You better watch the weather. We're supposed to snow on Sunday and be clear Saturday.
Oh, man.
Alright, am I dead? I've got a Spell Pierce. I've got a Spell Pierce. I love this card, chat. This card is my spirit animal. Spell Pierce is so good in Standard right now. It is unreal how good Spell Pierce is. Very, very powerful. Look at that, chat. We're diamond 1. I'm gonna keep playing this deck till we lose. We might play 3 more and hit Mythic. Listen, I know this isn't normally a try-hard stream, but like we haven't lost a match since the first one we played with this deck, so I'm gonna keep jamming until we kill people. So we're gonna try hard for 3 more matches here, hopefully.
Sick brags.
If we lose, I'll go back and play something else. Oh, we hit a rank floor too. So actually, this next loss is free if we lose this next one.
Yeah, great.
We're climbing with climb. All right, I'm gonna mute here and talk bad things about all of you with Matthew and JK. He brought me Chipotle.
Yeah.
This stream is in no way sponsored or endorsed by Chipotle, but Chipotle, come on, if you're out there, you've got to know it could be. This hand is more than good. It's great. Looks like we might be playing against Nexus again here, so God bless this main deck Spell Pierce. Sub goal for a fancy chair for Matt. Well, I'm actually going to be...
What's the deal?
My racer's supposed to be here really
I
soon.
would say, is that the Temple Storm one?
John Slayer, thank you very much for the very generous tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for keeping me around. Thank you for the gifties. You rock.
So you're getting the one from Temple Storm?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be getting a Tempo Storm branded racer.
Sweet.
Been happy here so long. What was it like without you again? Happy stream. What's going on, Grapple? Thanks for keeping me around. So we got a good amount of pressure in play here, and we got the Spell Pierce in hand. So hopefully we're gonna Spell Pierce a Wilderness Reclamation, and then untap, draw a land, and Ravager Wurm them. Oh, turn the camera so you can see Matthew. Yeah.
Wow. Ready to take a bite? Really, chat?
Yes. Don't you want to see us eat?
I think it's an annoyingly large bite.
So Matthew is
I
one of
have
my
a command.
Matthew is one of my buddies. Oh, you have a command, don't you?
Yeah, there you
There
go.
we go. Look at that. It's got links and everything.
I saved you
There's look at
Equity.
Matt's about efficiency, okay? Get out of here. All right, more Chipotle. All right. Who's ready to get bugged?
Good try, though.
All right, so I think I worm. So like this is an awkward squeeze because like I don't want to lose to settle, but I also want to beat Revitalize. Just one more, yeah. So there's only one more Spell Pierce in my main deck. This is game 1. We're playing it's the same thing in a row. You can only, this card's really well designed. You can't worm lands that don't have abilities.
That'd be good.
Alright, settle me. They didn't settle last turn, so maybe they don't have it. They could have a fog. They could have a fog. I think this attack is right because it beats Revitalize. This doesn't beat double Revitalize. I guess it's marginally worse against that too. Yeah, the Bant deck that was been doing okay on Moto had a couple of those in it. So maybe I'm supposed to attack with this too, so they have to block with another Thopter. I mean, they could combo us next turn, so I'm gonna take a moment to eat my food and enjoy the show. Man, I think it's really weird that anybody remotely average or middle class would find a study showing that most people think we should tax the ultra-rich extra as being false. Like, come on. I think most reasonable people think that people that make billions and millions of dollars could probably pay a little bit extra on the money they make at the very top. Come on now. Come on now. I don't think saying that most people think that is probably not unreasonable. It is incredibly disappointing that Arena doesn't start playing like circus music when this starts happening. That's the feature request we should make. We shouldn't request that Nexus gets banned. We should request that Arena starts playing circus music when Wilderness Reclamation triggers go on the stack. That should be the request. I believe we're dead, right? Like we're statistically dead, so like they're gonna flip Search for Azcanta, and then they're gonna get 2+ Search for Azcanta activations every turn, so I'm gonna go ahead and just move along with my life. This deck honestly might want a fourth counterspell in the sideboard. It's a non-zero chance at something I'm interested in doing. So against the Nexus deck, I'm boarding out 1 Worm, 4 Walkers, and 2 Incubations for 2 Brontodons, 2 Viviens, and 3 Negates. Seems fine. That was game 1, so. I want to say thanks everyone for hanging out today. Sorry I'm not talking a whole ton at the moment. Matthew is my best friend in the world, and he brought me Chipotle because he knows I'm streaming for 12 hours today. So we're gassing up in the middle here. So I kept a hand similar to this in the last match because it was Branchwalker Spell Pierce. Branchwalker Vivien Reid's not good enough here. If I had pressure plus a counterspell, that's worth keeping, but pressure into Planeswalker is just not good enough in a combo matchup like this. I either want a lot of creatures for fast pressure, or I want a little bit of creatures and a little bit of counterspells. You're looking to hit that sweet middle ground. This hand is very reasonable if I hit a second land. And people often ask me, like, when you're mulliganing, how do you know when you're supposed to keep the one-lander? And this is a good example of a one-lander that's good to keep. We might miss and lose the game because of it, but if I hit my second land, I get to play Branchwalker, which like me finds my third land, and then Jadelight Ranger finds me lands after that. So basically the question you have to ask yourself when you're keeping a one-lander is, if I hit the land, what's the probability I win the game? And I think the answer to this hand is, if I hit the second land, my probability to win the game is very high. So you should only keep speculative hands like this if the payoff is proportional to the risk.
Hits, and it's a blue land.
I am very good at this game, so like, obviously we hit, but even if we didn't hit here, I think keeping this hand is correct every time. Like we said, it's just like we drew it up, right? We hit the second land, and then Merfolk Branchwalker helps us find the third, and then Jadelight Ranger says, hey, you found the third, we're gonna play a full game of Magic now. All right, I love you all, and I just want everybody to understand that I think we should tax the ultra rich at a very high amount at their money past a certain point. But let's kill all comments of that in chat at this point. So I'm gonna set the mods to kill, and we're gonna time out everyone on both sides of the discussion that's talking about it. So you've been warned. Did I just put that back on my library by mistake? I intended to put this in my graveyard.
Oh, that's great.
I had intended to put this in my graveyard, but I was talking and I was setting the mods to kill and I clicked the wrong button. We're setting the tax rate on discussion of tax rate to 100%. Oh, Weens, you're great. You know, honestly, if they settle me, it's probably not that big of a deal, huh? They didn't play a thing last turn, so I'm gonna go ahead and Branchwalker and try and hit a land here, I think.
Sickening.
Thanks, Bendy. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I definitely had intended to put this in the discard pile, and then I clicked the wrong button because I was talking to chat and eating food. So I apologize. We're gonna lose our win streak, chat. Wait, this was our free match? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's a free one.
I think this is the free one because we're Diamond 1 now.
They're saying not dead.
Yeah, we also, like, if their hand's not good here, they could kill us, but they're unlikely to. Actually, they can't, right? Because if they play Wilderness Reclamation, they float 1 mana, and then they have +5, so they can't Nexus this turn. And then we have Negate up, and we have a pretty quick clock. And actually, if I draw a land next turn, I can play a land, play Climb, flip Climb on Jadelight Ranger, so I have 10 power, and still hold Negate up and attack into it, settle the wreckage. Which is very sweet. Okay, yeah, Grixis is great for us here. So really want to draw land. Perfect. So now I get to do this. The land is important because it lets me flip the Climb, and then the Climb gives me an additional mana here, so that way I can hold up this Negate still. So I get to add pressure to the board while holding up Disruption, and this is the perfect mix that you need for beating these combo-style decks in Standard. In Magic in general, you need not only Disruption, but you need pressure to pair with that Disruption, so you can put them in the ground before they're able to do anything. Survey says. What are we doing here? Would you counter Reclamation here, or would you save it for Nexus? It depends on how much mana they have left up when they cast Reclamation.
Great one.
Alright, on to game 3. Game the third, that was, like I said, that just, we got fortunate to hit our second land, but then we did hit the second land and everything just played out according to script, right? Yeah, I honestly think I might just want to jam the 4th Negate in my sideboard for this deck, just because, like, I feel like if you see a Negate or a Spell Pierce, in any games you see, like, 2 counter spells in these matchups, you're just, like, such a strong favorite to win.
Is Carnage Tyrant, like, good enough against these kind of decks anymore? Like, I guess it's for
So,
like, Esper control.
yeah, it's for that matchup, but honestly, that might be one of the trims.
Yeah.
I think that matchup's pretty good for this deck anyway, so, like, that's a good swap.
Yeah.
And Negate's another card that comes in there, right? So I'm trading a card that's good there for still good there.
Right.
How would you sideboard this deck against 4 color gates? All the counter spells. That's another matchup where a 4th Negate is good.
Yeah.
Brontodon and Vivien Reid are good there.
Yeah. I've just been
Because they
unimpressed.
take their artifacts and enchantments off the table.
I just, like, I've played Carnage Tyrant a few times, just, like, unimpressed.
Well, so here's the big thing about Carnage Tyrant in this format. In last season, Carnage Tyrant was very good in the mid-range mirrors.
Yeah.
And now he's not.
Yeah, it's just not good.
Because all the mid-range mirrors are about playing Grixis.
Yeah.
And Grixis gets much bigger than Carnage
yeah.
Tyrant. So
Yeah.
Carnage Tyrant is only good against the blue-based control decks, which makes him much narrower. Listen, chat. If you're gonna register Llanowar Elves in your deck, always have it in your opening hand. Your win rate will be much higher. And, like, honestly, Carnage Tyrant's power level in this current format is a great example of the power level of Magic cards being format contextual. Fantastical. Not looking for that. I guess maybe I was actually looking for that. I wonder if that's actually okay with all this top end in my hand.
Fun.
I think I just played Brontodon here. I think because the climb's not flipping yet. Wouldn't flip this turn, so I'm just gonna do this. It gets another 3 power in play. This makes them not want to tap out for Wilderness Reclamation, which is nice. So, like, I can save the Spell Pierce for something else, basically. You know, official ban M. Night Shyamalan movies. You know, I'm not really a big movie buff. I couldn't tell you specifically any movies that he's made. I'm familiar with his name, but I couldn't tell you, like, what is one of his movies. So I just let this resolve and then blow it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saved the Pierce for, like, a
Sweeper.
sweeper, yep.
Yeah. So what?
Extra land here is good. So I get to play, climb out, hit Jadelight Ranger, attack for 5, and then are they dead next turn? Not quite. So this is putting them to 12. And then next turn I can attack for 11. That's so unfortunate. Oh, that's great.
Wow.
Because the worm gets to kill that. This is the other game. You steal a lot of games with when you're on the play with Llanowar Elves and like your green-black opponent plays a Memorial to Folly and you're just like turn 4 or 5 on the play, like Stone Rain you, play a 4 or 5 attack and you're just like, yeah, get it. Get it.
Yeah.
Alright, please give me something worth Spell Piercing. Please give me something worth Spell Piercing. Please give me something worth Spell Piercing. Well, okay, well this game's over.
Yeah, we're done.
We're done here. Stick a fork in him, he's dead. It's all over.
Savage beatdown.
So
7, they're still not dead.
So, here's a question. If I attack with just this, I get to play a land, and I have 7 mana total. Do I Worm, kill their land, and just hold Spell Pierce up, or do I hold up double counter spell?
I'll do a double counter, but I'm conservative. So like their plan is to flashback or jumpstart the thing this turn.
Yeah, definitely. So like they're only gonna have 5 lands next turn, so the only way they can combo me, because this Azcanta's not
Yeah, it's
flipping.
not flipping,
It's
right.
not flipping. So the only way, so like this would be card 5. I guess they could play 2 cards and flip Azcanta next turn.
Yeah.
Okay, because if I kill this, they can flip Azcanta. I'm just gonna hold up. I should have attacked with this. That was a misclick. Actually,
I get to play
I'm
that
gonna
Spell Pierce.
I'm gonna pay 2 and I'm gonna play a Grixis for 2. right? Yeah, I'm gonna play a Grixis for 2. I think I like this line. This puts lethal in play. I have two counter spells up. This is fine. Don't care about this. We're choking them on mana. So I spell pierce, and negate. All right, so we're done here. If I don't attack with this, I can activate Winged Temple and double counter spells. So that's probably better. I don't think it matters. Because they could have double fog here. Okay. And this is gonna let them flip Azcanta next turn, so we could be in trouble here. All right, rating. So they need to bin this top card to flip this. What's their opponent's win con? Misery and Sodium. Ooh, they didn't flip Azcanta.
Must be good.
So is this gonna be if they have land land Wrath, land Cleansing Nova, they get through the spell pierce.
Yeah, that's rough.
But like even if they do that, I get to play Growth Chamber Guardian and then have Pierce plus Negate up next turn. And I'm like, the next turn they're dead to Growth Chamber Guardian activating. Alright, so we're done here. They might upkeep on me. Upkeep Fog, sure. So I have 6. Yeah, so I can't play this and hold Negate up, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna pass her. There's no reason to extend into a Wrath or something funky. So they know I have this Negate. So hopefully they can't beat the Negate. Hopefully they definitely can't beat the Negate plus spell pierce is ideal. So they've got this going. Yeah, sweet. I promise we'll be back to switching decks very often, very soon. But we're gonna play hopefully 2 more matches and then get our mythics on. Listen, this is very important, chat. I am told if I put Mythic Streamer in my title, we will have more viewers. Everyone has told me this. Everyone has told me. I expect our viewer count to double once we put I am Mythic in my title. How do you feel about Green-Black X in Modern right now? I think if you want to play Green-Black X in Modern right now, your username Consistently Confused is appropriate. I think I mulligan this. I think I mulligan this in the dark. On the draw, I think I'd keep this in the dark on the play. But, like, in the dark on the draw, I think there's enough things that are, like, aggressive and controlling in the format that, like, this isn't good against either of those. This hand, like, has a ramp creature in it. It's, like, very reasonable. And, like, this Incubation could be a threat here. Hopefully gonna be a threat. I don't actually know, Brennan. I like both of these decks. I don't know which one I prefer. I just think Modern's a format that's about ignoring your opponent and being linear.
Oh, what's gonna win my tournament tomorrow? What's gonna win? What deck?
It's gonna contain the cards Arc-like Phoenix and Faithless Living.
that's
It's gonna contain the cards Arc-like Phoenix and Faithless
That's
Living.
my thoughts as well. Mercy.
Sweet. All right, so we have a chance here.
Yeah, somehow.
All right, so here's this is actually an important question. So if they had protection here, they wouldn't have tapped out, right?
Yeah.
So if they're playing it all reasonably, do I get punished waiting to Incongruity during their upkeep?
Now here's the deal though, because like they might not have known that you're like on red mana either, or have like You just played a forest, right? You
I mean, like, they assume I'm green-black, right? Could have cast down and stuff. They could punish us here. The problem here is, so, like, Incongruity gives them a 3/3 token. So if I do this during their upkeep, the 3/3 token can't attack me this turn, which I think is ideal. I think if I get attacked by a 3/3 this turn, I'm just not going to have the resources to win the game. So I think I need to risk it for the biscuit.
Or they could have, like, Retort or the other counter spell.
Retort, Essence Scatter don't counter those. They don't have a wizard.
That's what I'm saying. It's like they might have it and be missing a. Oh, you guys.
I'm gonna do it. I'm upkeep it. Yeah.
Right.
I think it's a high upside play. I think this is correct. Like they could have Dive Down or Spell Pierce and like make me feel really stupid, but I think if they had either of those cards, they wouldn't have played the other Terramander out.
Probably.
So I am assuming they don't have a way to counter this because they tapped out for this last turn, because there aren't any 2-mana counter spells in their deck that counter this card, unless they're playing main deck Negate, in which case all bets are off. But usually they're Spell Piercing and Dive Downing.
Blink of an eye.
Okay, this is a card they could reasonably have to punish this line. Bottom. Yeah, bottom. All right, have a 3/3.
Wow.
Have a 3/3. Yay, lizards. Yay, lizards. All right, I'm gonna finish my Chipotle now. Thank you, chat. Yeah, the payoff for that risk is we gain 3 life. That's exactly the correct payoff.
Yeah. Nice, good rip.
So, I think I'm going and finding a friend here. Found a friend. All right, well that's great. I'm pretty sure I lead on this actually, because that way if I find explore creatures, we can get going next turn. Because I have a Rootbound Crag, so like next turn I can go Grixis Guardian to pop it anyways. So like getting this under counter is good. I think maybe. How specifically do I go about submitting a build around via your form? Yeah, just leave the deck list blank and put it in the comment section. Is exactly correct. Yeah. I guess the downside here with this sequencing is this exposes this to a counter spell, which means if this gets countered, then the 3/3 starts eating me alive. You only have one thing in here, and they're only on 4 lands, so these things are kind of slow in the air, so we're just gonna pass for now. Alright. Jerry says. Yeah, it's real good that resolved. I think I'm going to go ahead and attack here. If they want to trade this for a 3/3, I'm fine with that. I think that's okay for me. And I'm gonna wait on this at this point, because I wanna pop pippity pop this pimple here. That increases their clock a little bit. Hey, Grandorian, guest star Matt streams the best streams. We're gonna have some more Maddie in our lives real soon.
Yeah.
All y'all are gonna have a lot more Maddie.
Unfortunately.
All right, one fart.
Why would I don't understand why? Oh, is it 8 to that or is it's 7 in blue, right?
What?
7 blue. To
Yeah, it's 7 in blue. So they next
They're
turn.
one short.
I'm dead if they draw land. I'm dead to a land because
That's
we
what I-
burst again. So, which is awkward. But there's nothing I can do here. If we would have just hit an explore creature, we'd have been in an amazing spot, but we did not, so we cannot. And actually, if they have any instant or sorcery, we're dead.
Yes.
So we're dead to any instant or sorcery. Dead to a land. We basically have to hope they have a creature.
No. Don't do it. Play Trickster.
Yeah, Trickster is one of the cards we're hoping they have.
Should you? No, I guess not. Should you play that elf out?
No, I want to pop this off.
Oh, I was thinking if they had Trickster, they would have tapped it.
What's the hardest matchup for 4-color gates? If you want to learn all about the 4-color gates deck, I'd encourage you to read my article on Cool Stuff Inc. from Wednesday. I gave a full sideboard guide and matchup guide on there.
You're dead.
Silly Terramander, tricks are for kids. It's a shame this last card's not an Incongruity. We would dump through them here. And this is a matchup where having access to the red card should help. This is a matchup where the Lava Coil is good. I'm gonna put these in. We trimmed Ravager Wurm earlier. I don't actually think this matchup's that bad. We have Krasis blocks, Climb actually helps you block, these gain you life, Spell Pierce is reasonable. I'm going to trim one of these. Nah, I kind of want the consistency from that. Now the 24 creatures, so I think I need to cut a non-creature, so it's probably Hadana's Climb.
Yeah, it's just
Card's a little slow. It's funny, this card's at its best when it's like helping you block in this matchup a lot of the time.
Stupid, yeah.
So you'll note that I left the Spell Pierces in, but I didn't bring in the Negates. I think a lot of their spells are only 1 mana, they're non-creature spells, so Negate's a little bit clunky to hold up, whereas Spell Pierce helps us keep up on tempo because it allows us to trade efficiently, spending 1 mana to counter their 1 mana a lot of the time. This seems like not amazing, but reasonable. I'm gonna remind myself that Sulfur Falls comes into play tapped after I play Forest, because I messed that up once today. Just like dragged it in. I was like, why is that tapped? That is a buddy land. That should be untapped.
Stupid idiot.
Listen, sir. People only come here because I play tight.
Yeah.
They're here for the tight play.
I am great.
That's
Thanks.
a good
Big Mama.
So I think I just do this.
Wow, I love it.
That trade is great. Do you know why I attacked you here? Because I am okay with that trade. That is why I attacked.
I have 1 billion land.
My 4/4, a 4/4 on the play is very good in this matchup.
I am off the rest of the day. I am going to Milwaukee in like an hour-ish, though.
So yeah, one of my sponsors, I should do a sponsor plug at some point. One of my sponsors is Nerd Rage Gaming, and Matthew does commentary for them. And one of their tournaments is this weekend in Milwaukee. And if you were hoping to play in live, their tournament has sold out for the weekend. But you can watch their streaming coverage tomorrow, Saturday, all day at twitch.tv/NRG series. How much donation would you need to nuke chat for a stream? You mean like disable chat? Or like what does nuke chat mean? I need a definition here. Alright, so hopefully they just have a counterspell and not a trickster here. If they have a trickster, they get to diddle this and make sure it doesn't get tokens. But if they just have a counterspell, I get to spell pierce them and end the game. I think this is like game over. They could have a spell pierce here. If they have a pierce of their own, they could have a pierce of their own. Yes! Alright, so I think the game is basically over at this point. I'm gonna have somewhere between like 9 power in play and like I'm gaining 6. That one can stay right there. That one's gonna find us another exploring friend. And someone asked earlier how the mono red matchup for this deck is. While this deck doesn't have a ton of efficient removal, the fact that we have the Wildgrowth Walker package paired with Incubation to find it consistently makes your mono red package matchup very reasonable.
Yes. And I hate Llanowar Elves from this deck suite.
Yeah. There's a straight blue-green build that I played a little bit too, and I don't know if that build is better or worse than this one, but some iteration of this is really good. I think I'm actually just digging for an explore creature. Because like they have this in play.
It looks at how many cards?
Looks at 5.
Are you supposed to adapt first, or oh you can't? Right? Oh you can.
I can, but like I kind of want to leave extra of these in my deck.
Okay.
Like max creatures in there.
Branchwalker there.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
It's gonna pump that.
It's gonna let Wildgrowth Walker attack in here. Hi, Felicia.
Here's my hand.
All right, go. And they have like start attacking for like 7 this turn potentially. I guess they're pretty close to popping this up, and then like if they attack with everything, like they're gonna be done to the backswing. Yeah, I'm at 23, so like they're only killing me in like 2 turns.
That's funny.
And yeah, I think I'm gonna submit. Sleep wasn't out for them there, for sure.
Sure.
I don't think this is good enough. Incubation's not really a removal spell here. I think Guardian into Activate Guardian's too slow on the draw. You can find my preferred Pirates list and lots of other awesome deck lists on my website. Click Standard next to the top, or Video Standard. Discovery Channel, thank you very much for the Prime support. You're shipping your Bezo bucks this month, I appreciate it. Yeah, I agree. This hand's not... You either want hands that have, like, Lava Coils in them, or you want, like, Wildgrowth Walker into Explore Creature, basically. Fine. Yeah, this is fine, right? So, like, this... I think I'm actually going to keep this, because this is an Explore Creature. And I know that technically it might not be an Explore Creature, but this is very likely an Explore Creature. And then my curve here is actually very elegant. I get to go Shockland, do this on 1, and then Sulfur Falls, Walker on 2, Tap Land, Walker on 3, Explore Creature on 4. One of the things I've actually tested in the straight blue-green version of this deck for these aggressive matchups is I have, I've tried 1 copy of the O3 Explore in the sideboard, just like a 9th Explore Creature, just so you can, like, have this package do the most work when you want it to.
I mean, the Explore package is insanely loud. It's insanely powerful, and that's your best one. I mean, that's crazy.
You can read all about why my green-black deck is built the way it is on my website if you click through the links that are there. You click around in there, you're going to find a lot of useful information. Yeah, fourth land to let us pierce the counter on the Ranger would be absurd. That's, yep, that like, their best way to beat this hand is, like, try and race it and get under us. And Lava Coil ensures that, like, Tempest Djinn doesn't come down this turn and dumpster us. Hey, Facilitate Unmanaged, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support, I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Untap land. So now I get to do this. I think I Walker and Spell Pierce the counter.
I think you let it go.
If I was going to let it go, I should have played this.
Because you need the Ranger to survive. I think you need the Ranger to survive.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think you're right, actually. I think I got excited about drawing the untapped land, and I should have done this plus a tap land. I'm going to be down 2 points of health, though. You'll notice I didn't attack with the Wildgrowth Walker here, and the reason why I didn't attack with the Wildgrowth Walker is, well, I've missed potentially 1 point of damage. If my opponent plays a Merfolk Trickster, I would only have 1 blocker up, and they get to tap my only blocker and hit me for 2. So the risk of taking 2 points of damage, potentially, isn't worth the upside of hitting them for 1. So, like, hitting for 1 there is a very small upside, and, like, taking 2 is a pretty big downside, potentially. So I'm hoping they don't have double counterspell this turn. Perfect. Never punished for, like, playing my lands wrong. So let's do this, and we have to hope they don't have double counterspell.
Wow. Holy.
Wow, that's brutal.
It's a beating.
Wow, that's brutal. All right.
Never mind.
That one can stay right there. Right there.
What a massacre that was, though.
All right, and now I have a 4/3 to block their 2/2, and then I have a Lava Coil to clear this flying creature out.
Oh, that was so good. Yeah. That was awesome.
And now I can't spell pierce counter spells, which kind of sucks.
Holy.
Am I about to get quad trickstered?
That'd be gas.
Am I about to get quad trickstered, Matthew? I was gonna be really upset. Is that better than my average draw?
No, because you can hit another dude, another Explorer guy, or like a Krasis is good here too. I don't think that's very good.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like the Wildgrowth Walkers are huge. You don't need.
Okay, I'm gonna start by attacking with for 4. Because I'm okay if this trades for 2.
Sure.
Like I have 2 blockers back. I need to start pressuring them, right?
Coil, unless you're willing to pay 2 life for it.
Why?
I don't want it
What am I spell piercing? Oh, you want to play around their spell pierce.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, yeah, I like that suggestion. Taking 1 more hit here is not a big deal.
They might even just like play a Djinn too.
If they play a Djinn, the Siren Storm Tamer is covering the Djinn.
Yeah, that's fair too.
I tried to pull off a Jeff and keep a 1-mana hand, Branchwalker, and a mull to 6, no land for 5 draws. Yep. Like I said when we kept that hand, like, you know, you could miss and it feels bad when you do, but it's still right to keep those hands a lot of the time if the spells that you have are very good in them. Alright, last couple bites of Chipotle, I promise, then we'll be back to full commentary mode. Amazon Primes do not get to bump decks in the queue just for subbing. You can get full details on how my deck queue works by checking out my website here. It is my tier 2 and tier 3 subs that get to bump things every month. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine, okay? We are very close to Mythic, so I'm gonna continue playing this deck until we hit Mythic, or if we go on a losing streak, I'll stop. But we haven't lost a match with this deck yet today. I don't think. Maybe we lost one at the very start, but if this deck's gonna drag me into Mythic, I want to keep playing it. What? Yikes! Yikes!
Okay.
I'm just gonna play for 3. I just want it to be as big as possible.
Yeah, I think so. At worst, you just get to draw a card and.
Great. And yep, no reason to attack here.
Wow, how do we beat this?
I have 2 more copies of Incongruity in my deck, and I have a Lava Coil to clear Siren Tremor, and also I can just like go over in the air, right? Just like take their game plan.
Yep.
And like if they get frisky here, I'm gonna get real frisky on the backswing. This can't be blocked by green creatures, right?
Correct.
Yeah. They have Siren Storm Tamer in play if I try to attack and coil it. So like it's much better to just like play Hydroid Krasis and try and find an actual answer, or like another explore creature to like my Wildgrowth Walker's gain a ton. Yeah, that's true. My Spell Pierce has a text box now, which is great. Yeah, any explore creature off the top like ends the game on the spot.
What just happened? Oh, they drew that when they discarded. Got it. I understand that. Spell Pierce is great now.
Yep. Now the Spell Pierce is live. This gain 6 here plus add power, just like. This is only gonna tag this anyway, so might as well just jam it now. Our player new to MTG wants to buy into a tier 1 deck for standard. What deck would I recommend? What style of play? What play pattern do you enjoy playing? The standard format's got a lot of variety in it right now, so there's basically a different type of deck that's reasonable for every type of style of play pattern that you enjoy. Yep. Done.
Your turn. Wow.
What rank on the ladder did we start with on this deck today? I don't remember. We've been playing for 2.5 hours, so I think we were Diamond 3. I think Diamond 3 sounds right. So you know how I got a job and have cut in every day this week? As a heads up, Bob, there's 10K sitting on Gate Super Friend. So Gate Super Friend is next. But you are the best, and your new job is awesome. Good evening, Suzu. 10K bits. You're still dead on board, right? So this is fine. Actually, I should Spell Pierce this, because if they play another creature out, they'd go block, and not be dead on board. So I'm going to Spell Pierce this, because I don't want them to play like a 2-drop creature or something like that out. Like another Surge Mare or something. Alright, chat. This next one is it. This next one is it.
Wow. You're really good.
All right. It's all about the climb, chat. It's all about the climb. Branching Bob coming in hot with the sub-gifties. Cheers to your new employer, Bob, because it's really made you my employer. I would love to play first. Yeah, seems good. Like, not amazing, but fine. What tickles your fancy this afternoon, Bobby? Hey, Catnet, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Congressional approval is good, Bob. I agree. That was an awesome draw because it means I can go. Actually, do I go Branchwalker Elf here or do I go Growth Chamber Elf? I think I go Branchwalker Elf.
Yeah, in case you don't want it to die.
Yeah. More Sultai Nexus in. Deal. I'm gonna add Sultai Nexus to the website this weekend, Bob. Deal. They hit a land drop. Okay, so I'm gonna do this and hopefully find a land to play the Growth Chamber Guardian. Ding, ding, ding. When you're hot, boys. When you're hot, you're hot. Love your stream and your general attitude. As your new boss, I will say keep it up and you'll go places. Well, thanks, Catnet. Thanks for keeping me around. After Super Friends Larynx, 20 sub gifts the same as 10k, so the cuts go in order. So hopefully we're gonna win this match, be Mythic, and then we get to play all of the memes in Mythic from now on. That's exciting. And next turn, I get to play Ravager Wurm and eat their Wildgrowth Walker. This deck is really good. This deck is really good. Gobble gobble.
Looks so good too.
The animation is A+ too. It's A+ animation and just competitiveness. Maybe I should have made this a 4/5 and attacked. I don't know. Having a 5/6 be bigger for later is good though, especially with the climb in my hand.
Are you kidding me?
Do we need a worm emote? We might need a worm emote. We have a few open emotes. I feel like I want a standard card-related emote.
Whatever the hell it's called.
Finality. Yep. Huh. So you're going to be able to play Vivien through a Spell Pierce next turn anyways. So I'm going to... I'm just going to attack with the 5/6 to start. And then I think I just Krasis afterwards. And then if they leave my Krasis alone, I'll get to flip Climb next turn. The fact that this has Trample means that after they block a lot of time, you're like Incongruity it, and then just Trample over. It's very, very good.
Why do all these flying creatures have
Trample? I don't know.
Please
All the
explain.
demons. Yeah, we had someone with Spawn of Mayhem the other day, and I killed them with Trample, and I was like, this card has Trample?
Yeah, why? They all have it. This is what I was talking about. Yeah, exactly.
So if I would have held up Spell Pierce, we could have kind of played around that, but at the same time, like, they have a Krasis, we have a Worm, so it's like... So, like, I get to do this. Yeah. Like, tag my Worm. Hey, Vix, thanks for doing out a sub gifty. What? Yes. Pretty confident I want to play this out. I'm gonna hold up Spell Pierce for now rather than do this. I might want to remove stuff later. I assume we're gonna see a spot removal spell for this.
Yeah. Oh.
Woo! Woo!
And they have the land in hand.
Oh, baby!
They have the land in hand. Land of shame.
Woo!
Play the land of shame.
Spell Pierce!
There's the land of
Oh,
shame.
the post Spell Pierce land of shame! The post Spell Pierce land. Listen, as someone who's played the post Spell Pierce land of shame before, it's tough. It's tough. Like, all right. Charge!
Boy, Boy, that is something else right there. I tell you what.
All right, so what do I do in this matchup? Sleep is great.
Wow, that is just.
I actually board Spell Pierce out in this matchup because like
well, after you get him, it's free to take it
it's
out.
free to take it out. Yeah, it's like they're never playing into that card again.
Holy shit.
Uh,
Boy, that'll really get you going in the morning. Yeesh. Holy crap.
so what I think I want to do,
Yeah.
I think I want to do this. I don't think this is a 4 Lava Coil matchup, but some of them are fine.
Whatever.
This takes me down to 23 creatures for the incubation, but like the creatures I have are really good.
Look at them. Look at them go. That's too much.
I think this is what I want to do.
Oh, man.
Yeah, maybe I want to. So last time, I think on the draw, especially, maybe I want more of these. I can see doing that. I've done this before. This is probably fine. The resource efficiency on this is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, you did what I would.
If we win this match, we'll be Mythic Boneless. We've lost 1 match today, I think. This is the longest I've played a deck in a row in a while. This is I'm going to be so the NRG series is coming to Bloomington next month for a standard tournament where I live, and I'm going to be playing some iteration of the set most likely. I'm gonna keep this. This is like isn't a hand that you like write home about, but I think it's definitely in the range of people. How's the Nexus match? I think it's very reasonable, and I think I want to put a 4th Negate in the sideboard to make it even better. They left in Wildgrowth Walker against Negate. It's good to know. Sometimes people board them out because like sometimes we aggro them out, but sometimes we grind.
Yeah, it's like pretty conventional now. It's that like people board them out most of the time at least.
Yeah, pressure and counter spells are good against Nexus. If you didn't watch all of this league, all of the matches we played today, and you want to see how this deck is against Nexus, we played against it 2 or 3 times, and we beat it every time, I think. I think I'm gonna go digging with this. I don't think I care about this Wildgrowth Walker. I think I'm in for Jadelight here. I think I'm in for Jadelight here. What's going on, Burrick? Hope you're having a good one. Thanks everybody for dropping in today, by the way. I appreciate it. Hope everyone's having a good Friday wherever you're at. It's great to see 2,200 people in here. If you're new, my name's Jeff Hoagland. This is my buddy Matt that's hanging out here with me. I stream Magic full-time on this channel. I'm here like, 30, 40, 50 hours. We can do a ton of standard best of 3 constructed. So if you enjoy standard best of 3, this is definitely the channel for you. Well, I'm glad we're up a game. Are we playing real decks until Mythic? Well, I wasn't even planning on hitting Mythic, but we were like really close and haven't lost a match, so we're just like running this one until we do. That's a good question. So I'm not trading here because they have this Midnight Reaper in play, and because Midnight Reaper means that they get to draw a card from this, which is not a good exchange for me. In my opinion, best of 3 standard constructed is the best format Magic has to offer. It shows off some of the uniqueness and great things that Magic can do better than any other format, in my opinion.
Alright. You better win the next game because I gotta go soon.
I'm not dead on this one yet. I'm not dead here yet.
No, you're in horrible shape, but fine. Are you crabbing them?
Yeah, I'm gonna end step crab here. So they want to exile this in response to the trigger, like that's fine. And like they're not exiling this. So like I know I have a lot of lands in my hand, but like with nothing else going on, I'm gonna play a land and play Krasis for 2, so I can hopefully snowball into some more gas next turn.
Oh, that's good.
Very sweet. That's the best. The best is because the first Krasis finds more Krasis afterwards. There's Krasis of their own. It's probably a giant Krasis of their own. So they've got, yeah, this is for 6. Slugfest, baby, Slugfest. Alright, so I think I start with this. And then I can play Llanowar Elves plus an untapped land and still have Incongruity up this turn. That one can stay right there.
This game
sucks. And this is one of the reasons why I really like this deck. In addition to having aggressive draws in the back of Climb, because this deck gets to play Hydroid Krasis and Vivien Reid and like all these other things, we also have games like this where it really gets to slog it out as well.
No Wrath, come on. Come on, opponent, Wrath him.
They might have post-attack Wrath, because they technically get more damage if they do have post-attack, right?
That's true, yeah. I forgot. Okay. God, they were at Jillian Relief.
Yeah, I'm gonna my plan is to Incongruity their Reaper and then untap and shoot their Krasis. Because I'm kind of winning on board right now, so I just want to like make sure that like they don't generate card advantage to like pull out from under me winning. Yeah, I think they're on E at the moment. They could have a fine finality here. If they probably would have finality last turn, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm just being conservative here. Like attacking for 4 when they're at 28 isn't super meaningful. So like playing around a couple of removal spells to like hedge against losing my Vivien Reid is really important here. Because like if I get to untap with this Vivien and like slam a giant Krasis, they have a Krasis of their own here. This is just another Krasis. That's really not a big deal because I have one of my own. This is 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. They can Krasis for 9 here, so they draw 4. But like my Vivien's still going, and I have double Krasis in the air. Yeah, and like board states like this are why there's 2 copies of Sleep in our sideboard. Sleep is very, very good in these matchups.
I've seen things that would break someone like you.
This is X is 8 on this bad boy. Gas me up, Scotty. You know, I wonder, looking at how this game is playing out, I wonder if I'm supposed to leave Wildgrowth Walker in my deck so I can gain health. Because only having Hydroid Krasis with to gain health might be a mistake. Because like they might just aggro me out of the air with this Hydroid Krasis. I might get run down by their Krasis here, and like think if this Growth Chamber Guardian was a Branchwalker here, like I'd be able to gain 6 and be in a better spot. I think. If I can find a Sleep, that would be absurd. Yep.
This looks like the game that took 6 hours to complete in Indy.
Yep.
It's awful.
Alright, so they have to kill Vivien, so our best draw is like another Vivien here. That attack seems bad, because I get to double block and like not care. This attack seems super weird. They have a removal spell. Maybe they have a removal spell in their hand. These attacks say to me that they have a removal spell, but I think I'm still okay. I think if they want to spend a removal spell on like a Jadelight Ranger, I'm okay with that. Because like otherwise they just like traded their Wildgrowth Walker for a Jadelight Ranger, and that does not seem like a good exchange on their part.
Nice.
I don't have a lot going on.
Is there?
So there are 33 cards in my deck. I've got plenty of mana. I've got 10 right now. I think I go. Yeah, I can kill the other Wildgrowth Walker with this. Make this a 5/5 or 5/6. Eat the Wildgrowth Walker. Like take their health gain off the table. And like I'm waiting on a Vivien or my other Incongruity. I might be out of both of them. I think I boarded down to 2.
You have
Yeah.
2 more Krasis too, right?
I do have more Krasis in my deck, so I think I just start digging for those now.
Ask and you shall receive.
Listen, chat, Magic's tough. Magic's a tough game sometimes.
$42. It's gonna be a long road.
Nobody move. No, nobody move.
Holy cow.
You know what? I shouldn't have played out the second Merfolk Branchwalker. I should have played the other Llanowar Elves to make this bigger.
Yeah.
Still did the removal. No, I'm gonna gain a bunch of life. I'm gonna gain more than 3. They only have a 9/9. Plus I have this to block. And it's like, how much do I gain? So I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this gains 5. Yeah.
Gain 5, draw 5. That's probably fine. Oh yeah. Stupid.
Yay! Battle Cruiser Magic. Wow.
Draws, idiot.
Wow. Esports ready. Y'all ready for them esports? Y'all got any more of them esports? Woof. Woof.
I mean, we knew they had the. We know they have this. What you call it?
Deal. Alright, we got a Vivien and 2 copies of Sleep.
You got Krasis, man. Just reload.
I'm really Wally's back.
Yeah.
Be a little conservative. Oh, you know what? I think attacking with the Ravager Wurm is wrong here because, alright, well, they didn't block it. If they would have dogpiled the Ravager Wurm and killed it, by the Ravager Wurm living, Hadana's Climb isn't out because it lets me block their 9/9 with the Ravager Wurm.
Okay, boys and girls. This is what I like. Show me what you got. That was the I'm too lazy to do the math.
Maybe they might just have a fight finality. They can pick some of their stuff back up. Sure, that card seems pretty mediocre in this matchup. Sleep! Give me an answer!
What's that deal?
That is not an incongruity, so I'm dead. That's a frustrating end to another Rise-type game. Alright, on to the third one. Yeah, I think the way this played out, I should only have 2 Lava Coils in, and I should leave all 4 incongruities in.
Okay.
I think I would have been better off. How do we feel about Growth Chamber versus Wildgrowth Walker?
It's pretty close. Like, Growth Chamber just doesn't do anything because they just hold removal. You have to, like, play weird.
The nice thing about Growth Chamber, I guess Wildgrowth Walker gets out of finality range really quick too.
Yeah, you have to play this weird game. You play a weird sub-game. Wildgrowth Walker is probably much better on the play than it is on the draw, obviously. I don't know.
Let's do this.
I don't love it, but your deck's also configured differently than... Like, you have way less removal.
That's true. Yeah, Wildgrowth Walker is definitely part of why they won, right? Like, if I would have been able to gain 9 points of life that game, we'd have been fine. Sanders doesn't do anything, right? Hey, regular size Jesse, thanks for the 15. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Seems plenty reasonable. Yeah, I think I should have been on 2 coils, and like obviously that could have still been a regular Lava Coil, but if that card had been Incongruity there, we would have dumpstered them that last game. The deck card we wanted copies of Sleep. I'm gonna keep that. I want to lean on this. I think I'm keeping that because I have a Branchwalker. I kind of need a green source though. Yeah. Stop it.
Yeah, what?
I think I'm actually taking that. I'm gonna do that into this, into this.
That's your plan.
Yeah, because like if I... Hopefully we hit a land in our top 2 next turn. This also lets me Branchwalker plus Lava Coil this next turn, which is important because it looks like they're setting up to Wildgrowth Walker. Yeah, the same. The ladder rankings are the same for best of 1 and best of 3.
Unless I don't spell them with that. Or like a stroke or something. It's probably a disdainful stroke.
I just want to go digging here. I think I'm still in the position to be looking for creatures. And I want to do this before I Merfolk Branchwalkers, that way if I leave something on top that I want. Alright.
I assume there's a disdainful stroke in their hand.
So I'm going to trade here. Yeah, that's true. This was like this is the Vivien turn, right?
Correct.
They could also just be waiting so they can like Wildgrowth Walker into 2 mana.
Sure. But like,
Yeah, just not my thing, Max. I don't enjoy the aspects of limited that Magic has. Like, I like tuning decks. Alright, let's hit a land here, and then Ravager Wurm, and gobble up this thing. Land here would be great, because it'll let us curve Wurm into Grixis for 2. I think I just go ahead and exile this. I'm trying to wait one more turn.
okay, sure. It's not great.
This is fine if we draw land.
Let's see.
If we draw land, the Worm's gonna kill this, and we're gonna attack this for 6. And we'll be in a very, very good spot. So we need to hit a land this turn, which is why I saw a lot of people playing similar builds to this, and I went up to 24 lands in my build because I really like hitting my land drops. One card off. That's fine. That's fine. They could finality me this turn. I think we're getting finalitied. With double Worm, we might actually be okay.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
The wilds are my shield.
I need to hit a land again now,
So
though,
you
because
gotta hit a
they killed
land.
my elf.
Yeah. Double Reaper. That's okay. I mean, they just have double Reaper. I mean,
They have different going too, though.
yeah, I get it.
Meet my newest friend.
She's at 8. Yep. If they don't have another creature here, I get to give Vivien a left tap.
I also have sleep.
Yeah, I have to use Sleep now, which sucks. I have Wildgrowth Walker to insulate against this.
I'm not the best.
Most wounds can heal.
You can only play one spell this turn too. Well, I mean, they either play the Reapers or they
Play the Elders. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I guess they kill him.
So, if they play double creatures here, I'm gonna get to take the Vivien off the table. Alright, I get to kill a Vivien. Oh, we're probably dead, but I get to kill a Vivien. Playing this match has been a healthy reminder for why I don't try to play Magic to win anymore. You just like sit there like, if we hit a 6 lane, we're gonna win the game and get what we want. And then you just like look down and you're just like dead,
Just
draw another
like
spell,
Someone-
draw another Ravager Wurm.
Someone shows up with a tier 1 deck.
I think this matchup's great. Shut up. If I'd have drawn a 6th land, it would have been fine. Fifth land. We need a 5th land that turn. I'm like, now they have like...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, get another Llanowar Elf. Draw another Llanowar Elf off the top, please.
Alright, I quit. Let's go back to playing Magic for fun. Alright, no Mythic today. We're gonna move along. We've been playing this deck for almost 3 hours. I'm not playing 2 more matches. I've got a giant deck queue full of decks to play.
Oh, shit, man.
Let's moving right along. I think this deck is great. I think we lost like 2 matches in 3 hours, maybe 1. I don't keep track really. I genuinely don't know if the red splash for Ravager Wurm and Lava Coil is correct or not, but some form of blue-green climb is good, and that's definitely what I'm going to work on next month when I go play the local 5K tournament that NRG is having.